This is for Math 8, and we are working on solving systems by graphing in level 1. So this first video, there's going to be two different videos. So this first video is really just helping you remember how to graph in slope-intercept form. And so we want to look at our equation. This is already in slope-intercept form. So remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. M being your slope, and b representing your y-intercept. Again, your slope is your rate of change, and your y-intercept is the initial value, okay, in a scenario. So we're looking at this equation. Your m is the number with the x. Now be careful with this negative. So the slope in this case is a negative 5/3. The y-intercept, the b, is 1. And so when you graph that, remember, you're going to start at the positive 1. So positive 1. And your slope is a negative 5/3. So it's a negative, so we know it's going to be going downhill from left to right. So if I start at this 1, I'm going to count up 5. Well, I don't have enough room. That doesn't go up far enough, so I can count down. So I'm going to count down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then over 3. So I need to figure out which way I need to go to make it negative. 1, 2, 3. To make it negative means it's just you're going in a downhill slope. Okay, so you're going to take your graphing note card that you got yesterday. And if you don't have that, which I don't have with me, you can turn your paper or get another paper for your straight edge. But please make sure you make a straight line. All right, so then you're gonna graph your line. Go all the way through your graph. Don't stop just a little bit in your grid. Okay, so the next equation, you have negative 1/3 is your slope. Negative 3 is your y-intercept. You're not very quiet. Okay, so negative 1/3. So start with your y-intercept. That's negative 3. And then negative 1/3. Now you can go up 1 and then to the left 3, or down 1 and to the right 3. And what that's doing is making your negative slope, as you can tell. Okay, so again, if you're not here on, oops, it should be crossing right there. If you weren't here on whatever day, Monday, again, these lines represent the solutions to those equations. So what's happened here is that this is the common solution for both of them. That's the only time it's intersecting. So that solution, 3, negative 4, remember your ordered pair is x, y. So you want to always write it as an ordered pair. So 3, negative 4, and then you want to test it. Now I'm going to show you how to test this with the fractions. Do not change your fractions to decimals to check. So what I'm doing here is I'm rewriting the original equation so I don't have to keep looking up here. But the first thing you're going to do is substitute. I'm testing to see if that ordered pair is a solution to this equation. So negative 4 is our y. Remember, this first one's your x and the second one's your y. Negative 4. I'm questioning, is 3 negative 4 a solution to this? So our x term is 3. Then you can put 3 over 1 if you want. And so negative 5/3 times 3 over 1, these 3's cancel. So you get negative 5 plus 1, and that's going to be negative 4. So that does prove that 3 negative 4 is the solution for this one. So let's test it here. You have to test in both equations to make sure that it's correct. X is your 3. You can put 3 over 1 if you want. Negative 1/3 times 3 over 1. These cancel, so you get a negative 1 minus 3. Remember, when you have both negatives here, you're going further negative, so that does work. So your checking is you are testing the solution into both problems to see if it works. Okay, so now some of the classes already did that problem, but I know none of the classes we did not get to a problem like this. So look at this equation. It is in slope-intercept form. And so we have y equals, this here is a negative 1. There's really a negative 1. So your slope is a negative 1. Your y-intercept is positive 1. Okay? So your y-intercept is positive 1. Your slope is a negative 1. So it's going to go down 1 over 1. Now if you don't want to keep going down 1 over 1, you can go down 2 as long as you go over 2. You can go up 2 and to the left 2. As long as it simplifies down to 1, you're okay. So I can go up 2 and over 2. I can go down 1, over 1. Then you're going to make your line. Okay, now this one, you got to be careful of equations like this. This says x equals 3. Notice there is no y showing. So what this is doing is this is actually like your x-intercept, which sometimes you can do this. You can make a little table, and x is always 3 no matter what, and y can be anything. You can pick any number for y. If you plot those points, 3, -2, 3, 0, 3, 2, that x equals 3 is going to be a straight line going up and down like this. So when x equals a constant, and just a number, it is actually going to be a vertical line on that number. So x is 3. Now let's look at that. What is the slope of a line that looks like that when it's straight up and down? A vertical line? It's undefined. And where does it cross the y-axis? Does it cross the y-axis anywhere? No. Don't put 0. Do not put 0. You're going to say it's in the origin. So there is none. There is no y-intercept, and the slope is undefined. So be careful of that. So now our solution, where do these two lines cross? Right here. That is our ordered pair. So 1, 2, 3, and -2. Now these numbers are real blurry, so you just have to count. You just have to be careful. That's -1, that's -2. So 3, -2. So when we check it, be careful how you check these. This says y equals like a -1x plus 1, and then x equals 3. When you check this, that negative stays there. So we have a -2 for the y. Remember, that's x and that's y. The opposite, this negative here, the opposite of 3 plus 1. And what is -3 plus 1? It's a -2. So be careful, especially if that number, if that x was a negative, it would be the opposite of negative, whatever. So don't drop that negative, especially if that number is negative. So it's saying the opposite. Now this one, x equals 3, well, the only number we can put in is the x value. Does 3 equal 3? Yes. So I know that's sometimes it can be a little confusing, but when x equals just a number, it's going to be straight up and down. When y equals a number, which, when y equals this, it's going to be horizontal on the 1. So think about where it's crossing the y-axis and what the slope is. All right, so that's part 1. Your first task is to finish level 1, front and back. You then want to make sure that you check against the answer key, which the sub will have. So you want to check against that. Then you're going to be looking at level 2, watching the second video. Once all this is done, watching the second video of how to change these equations into slope-intercept form. All right, thank you.